Welcome back, everyone. In the previous videos, we have learned what is feedback, what is the importance of feedback, and how does feedback play an important role in communication cycle. We have also learned different elements of feedback. In this video, I'm going to explain you 7 C's of communication. It is a very important question generally asked in exam that elaborates 7 C's of communication. So before explaining, I would like to tell you that there are some principles or guidelines for choosing the content which the sender wants to convey to the receiver so that the purpose of communication is fulfilled. Such guidelines or principles are called 7 C's of communication. So 7 C's of communications are namely clear, concise, concrete, correct, coherent, complete, courteous. I would be coming to them one by one. First of all, clear. It means whatever the sender wants to transmit the information to the receiver, the aim should be clear and he should not use confusing words or phrases so that the flow of information is done smoothly. Then second point is concise. The sender must ensure that the information shared by him is to the point and no filler words or sentences are used. Then concrete. The information shared should be supported by some real facts and figures. The sender should be specific while transmitting the information and should not beat about the bush. Next point, correct. The right level of language should be used. It means the word should be chosen in such a way that the information conveyed is easily understandable to the target audience, and it should be supported by correct facts and figures. Coherent. Before transmitting the information, the sender must ensure does the message to be conveyed is really making sense and whether the flow of information is done logically. So he should not run after covering too much, but he should be specific and share sensible information. Complete. It means whether the message shared is complete in itself or some more information is to be added or any call to action, any other such action is required for the communication process. Last but not the least, courteous. It means the sender should be polite while communicating the message and so that a better goodwill can be maintained between the sender and the receiver. And he must ensure the message is tactful. Moving over to next slide, I will be talking about effective communication. That what are the essential points to be covered for effective communication? Definitely, a good communication environment is required in which the sender can transmit the information. The compatibility between the sender and receiver should be good so that both are cooperative to ensure that the information is flowing smoothly. Selection of appropriate channel means the medium or language should be chosen in such a way that it is easily understandable. The word should not be confusing enough. Correct encoding at the sender end and correct decoding at the receiver end should be done. And last, as I have discussed earlier also, feedback plays an important role. So a feedback is expected from the receiver end. Feedback can be positive, feedback can be negative, or it can just be a no feedback. but feedback completes the communication cycle, so it's a must. Moving over to next slide. Barriers to communication. Now, what are barriers? Barriers, they act as hindrance to an effective communication. They are the obstacles. They will not ensure that the flow of communication is being processed smoothly. The main barriers to communication are linguistic, physical, cultural, organizational, interpersonal. Coming to them one by one. First of all, I would like to discuss physical barriers. Now, physical barrier means the environment in which the communication process is going on. It may sometimes happen the environment is not so supportive enough, or there is some disturbance, or there is some noise in the environment, which is acting as a barrier to effective communication. Next, cultural barriers. Sometimes it has been seen that people are coming from different background, status, and they are having some pre-assumption, or they are having some beliefs, ethics, and their religious belief of their own. So it may act as a barrier to communication process. Sometimes the beliefs of different people, they don't meet, and disparity may occur. So some standards or rules can be laid down so that these barriers could be overcome. Next, coming to interpersonal barriers. Interpersonal barrier can occur due to emotional outbursts, cultural variation, poor listening skill, limited vocabulary, noise in the channel, etc. It means the choice of words plays an important role. The words chosen are not confusing. They can act as barriers. Then incongruity of verbal and non-verbal messages means these messages have not been delivered properly. Emotional outburst means a person may get emotional sometimes, which can act as a barrier to communication process. Cultural variation has already been discussed, that people are coming from different culture, so their beliefs and their pre-assumptions are different. Then poor listening skills. It can be seen at the target audience end, due to which communication process cannot be done smoothly. Noise in the channel. So it can also be an interpersonal barrier. Now we will see language barrier. Again, difference in language, it means the two people in which the communication is going on, they are not able to understand the language of each other. So they will require translator in that process. Or sometimes the word chosen, they are not interpreted properly, or use of jargons, that is short form words are used, so they can act as barriers in the communication process. Now we have seen different barriers. Now we will learn the ways how to overcome these barriers so that the communication can be effective. The sender should always use simple language so that the target audience can have interest in the communication. And one should not form assumption on culture or religion or geographical area of other person. He should try to communicate in person, because when one-to-one meetings or face-to-face conversations are going on, communication process is carried out in a best manner. The sender must make use of visuals, because visuals help to understand the process easily. Then a help of translator could be taken in the case where two people are not able to understand each other language. And the sender must always be respectful of other opinions. He should not make any pre-assumption on the religion or beliefs of others. With this, our unit 1 of employability skill is over. So keep watching. Other videos would be uploaded soon. Thank you.